Alright, new season of Death Battle, and whoa, what a way to start. Batman and Iron Man. I honestly don't know who to root for. I mean, in terms of the comics, I like the old school Iron Man from the late 70s and 80s. I read some of that when I can. It has a certain mystique to it. It's like this old pulpy comic goodness. But with Batman, I'm really loving the newer stuff, like with James Tynion's run with Joker War, and the aftermath of that. It's like the new character Punchline, where that's going. Harley back in Gotham and making a new life for herself. It's all good. It's all good. I don't know, but who do I want to win? Who do I expect to win? I honestly don't know, so let's just get to it. 3, 2, 1, bazing.
Batman, DC's vengeful crusader.
Oh, the Hellbat suit or whatever it was.
Marvel's genius.
The Iron Man 2020 thing. That's not even Tony Stark in that one.
Men have used their intellect and determination to take their place alongside.
Wow, I'm nerding out already.
And being filthy, stinking rich sure doesn't hurt either. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Oh, they're gonna use 2D? Oh.
That's right, he's back. In case you're one of the many psycho supervillains.
Good old 60s Batman. That's a good time
make
too.
Peace with whatever god you pray to, because they won't save you from the goddamn Batman.
But before he dressed like a giant rodent and employed little boys in booty shorts as meat shields, he was Bruce Wayne, scion of the multi-billion-dollar company Wayne Enterprises.
Until Mommy and Daddy got 360 no-scope, leaving Bruce with a void inside him that could only be filled by the never-ending
Wants to know why you said that name? Really? 5 years later, we're still bitching about that line?
Batman was born. He would devote his life to perfecting his body and mind to become more than human. He would transcend his own mortality into legend, a nightmare to haunt evildoers till the end of time.
Jesus Christ! I feel like Zoloft and therapy would work too, but okay, whatever works.
Batman's resume is absurd. He's mastered 127 martial arts, trained in stealth and assassination, and is a super genius with a photographic memory. He's the world's greatest detective, bar none.
Like how the League of Shadows needs to keep erasing Batman's memories because he keeps finding their secret bases. Or the time he found a dead body with no entry or exit wound and a 40-year-old bullet nearby, and somehow determined it must have been fired backwards in time.
Despite being a master marksman, escape artist,
comic books, what can you say?
Engineer,
and ninja,
one of Batman's assets stands above them all.
His Bat Stacks! Bats has poured his billions into tactical armor and gadgets for every conceivable situation. If there's one word to describe Batman,
yeah, compare him to Captain America, and then now Iron Man because they're both rich and geniuses and shit.
And gunfire, and even protected him from this massive
But for
explosion.
me, Spider-Man will always be the true counterpart to Batman.
From the epicenter and the surface area of his body, he must have withstood a blast of nearly 60 tons of TNT.
His cowl comes with night vision, infrared, and a radio, while his utility belt is chock full of smoke bombs, nerve toxins, a grappling hook, and batarangs, which he can control mid-air and set to explode.
It was these tools that allowed Batman to wage his one-man war on crime.
But once he got over his angsty loner phase, he helped found the Justice League of America in order to bring his personal brand of Bat Justice to the entire world.
And Batman's knack for schemes and preparation skyrocketed to match, turning him into the Bat God we all know and mean. Like the time he developed a backup personality that would ensure he functions as Batman in case of a psychological attack that drove him mad. A backup human operating system. Like a computer, but it's his brain.
He even has plans tailored to his teammates' weaknesses should they ever go rogue. He's developed contingencies for everything, which is why Bats come
a yellow ring. Well, that would make sense, because
like his
what's
Nightfall
the yellow the color of? Fear!
The Justice Buster, which he obviously designed to combat the Justice League. He even got a final Batsuit from his sixth dimensional self that can rewrite your mind.
But my favorite is his stylish zebra suit, which he wore after getting weird Magneto powers. They just made his suit look like this for some reason. There's also the Rainbow Batman suits, the Suit of Sorrows, and of course, the Bat Nipples. Chicks dig the Bat Nipples. All paid for with the Bat credit card. Never leave the cave without it.
But perhaps
Of course,
the
they had
greatest
to
suit of
mention
armor,
that part
the
of the
one designed to
movies.
put him on the same level of insane mind-bending power as his league teammates, is the Hellbat.
Okay, it was a Hellbat. I wasn't sure if that's what it was called. I'm not that big a
Forged by
comic geek.
Superman in the heart of the sun, each member of the Justice League contributed to this monstrous mech's abilities.
And boy, does it show! The Hellbat is absolutely hardcore!
Made of nanokinetic mesh, it can shapeshift around Batman's body and operates via telepathic
The
links.
nano
It can fly,
shape-shifting
turn
things.
invisible, and fire a
Yeah.
bat-shaped chest laser.
That's why, like, in the
And by
current
diverting
Iron Man
all the suit's
comics,
power
he's
into
gone a
his
bit
fist,
lower
he can
tech
use
back.
the Devastator,
Like,
a
kind of
punch powered by
downgraded to
Wonder Woman's
purely
strength,
physical,
and
none
she's
of that
strong enough to
nano
yank the
energy
frickin' Earth
shit.
around. Though it does have a 95% chance of giving old Bats a heart attack.
Which he has given himself to save all of Gotham City on at least one occasion. It's that level of insane drive that pushed him to use the Hellbat in his one-man invasion of Apocalypse in order to bring his son back to life.
You know, Apocalypse, home to the god of evil himself, Darkseid. Batman stared down the final boss of DC Comics and actually kicked his ass.
This is incredible, considering Darkseid is a being strong enough to destroy entire universes and fast enough to fly to the edge of the universe in seconds. Since the DC universe is significantly larger than our own, that would be over 600 quintillion times the speed of light.
That same Darkseid avatar even took a Shoryuken from Alan Scott, who was amped up from the energy of the multiverse. And Bats cleaned his clock just as hard.
But this incalculable strength is drawn from Batman's own life force, specifically his metabolism. Should any fight with the Hellbat go on too long, Batman may succumb to its hunger before finishing the fight himself. Or absorb someone else's biomass for fuel. That
Yeah.
works too.
So basically, you'd have to be completely batshit insane to pilot this thing. And Bats, yeah, sorry to break it to you, but the grown man that wears his underwear on the outside isn't all there.
In keeping with being a perfectionist, though, he's completely aware of this. That's why he does not kill. Because if he did, he understands that he can't trust himself to know when to stop.
Batman is outsmarted the nigh-omniscient...
I gotta have some explanation why he lets Joker
the
live.
Batman who laughs, and humiliated Superman in a one-on-one fight.
Though, at
No,
the end of
wait, that
Joker
one's not
War,
canon.
he did have to make
That
a
one he
choice,
technically
and
can't help.
it
Yeah,
was
that
not
one.
to let
Although
Joker
many
live.
of his greatest accomplishments have been aided by his
I
exceptional
won't spoil it,
footwork and
but let's just say
foreknowledge,
Harley
he's no
forced him to make a
stranger being put on
choice,
the spot, even in
and
the face of Armageddon.
Joker
Who
wasn't
else
happy
would
with the
kick
choice.
Spectre, the angel of wrath, God's divine judgment, in the face, and then tell him to get the hell out of his city.
I'll tell you who. The goddamn motherfucking na-na-na-na-na Batman!
na 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 na.
My parademons arrive soon.
Think I haven't planned for this?
You would be forgiven for doubting the destiny of genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist Tony Stark.
Yeah, 'cause you can add massive prick to that list too.
Tony's parents died when he was still young, leaving the mind-bogglingly brilliant prodigy to inherit a multi-billion-dollar tech company.
With mommy and daddy's purse strings, Tony decided to live it up and down in booze and the ladies.
Which was problematic considering he made his fortune as a part of a military-industrial complex, selling devastating high-tech arms to the highest bidder.
And Tony got to see his handiwork firsthand when it literally blew up in his face.
Tony never had much of a heart to begin with, but after that, he literally had even less. Unlike so many men of weaker spirit, though, Tony refused to give up. He was made of tougher stuff. He was made of iron.
So he built himself a robot suit to bust
Still
the hell
one of
out
the
of there.
baddest
And when he got
ass
back to the
scenes
good old
in
US of A,
MCU
he devoted
history,
his life to
the
protecting
Mark
the world
I.
from the kinds of weapons he helped make by making an even better robot suit and becoming a superhero.
Goddamn ads.
Building new suits of armor wasn't just a hobby for Tony, but an obsession. Over the course of his long career as a founding member of the Avengers, he has constructed dozens of different models, which he can call to him at once like a little
Of course, gotta show that part of Iron Man 3.
Most of his armors come with the same basic toolkit: super strength, massively hypersonic flight, and repulsor blast.
Repulsors are extremely dense beams of muons, unstable subatomic particles similar to electrons. They're actually really interesting. See, they're classified as leptons, which don't have any known substructures. Just sort of like...
It's a laser!
Just suck the fun out of it.
Yeah, I was listening,
His armors
too.
also come with onboard AI, like Friday, which can hack into enemy technology, command his other suits to fight remotely, and operate down to the picosecond.
Is that
1/4
impossible?
of a second.
Seriously.
Even outdated armors are strong
Well,
enough to blow
Disney
up
and
a
Marvel
chunk
are
of
one and the
rock
same
as
now.
big as Manhattan. By taking a look at its speed, Tony's armor would have had to be hidden with an energy of nearly 300 teratons of TNT. That's 3 times stronger than the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Years spent defending the Earth has conditioned Tony to be prepared for any threat imaginable, and he has an armor for almost any occasion.
He's got an armor to bust Hulks, an armor to bust Thors, an armor that can turn intangible, a super tiny armor that can mess with your insides, and an armor made of white sticky alien goo. Definitely not legal in all 50 states.
Gross. In order to remain as flexible as possible, though, his standard go-to is the Model Prime. It has all the classic Iron Man staples and has even incorporated size changing for extra strength, an invisible stealth mode,
And a badass lightning samurai sword? Say what you want about the smug son of a bitch, but he's definitely got style. And crippling alcoholism. But look who's talking.
It was more than likely that same devil-may-care attitude that led to Tony revealing his secret identity to the world, which I guess had no consequences.
Look, Wiz, when you build a space laser strong enough to wipe out alien fleets in one shot, I don't think the Mandarin is going to interrupt your shawarma lunch date.
That space laser is a Dyson sphere.
Speaking of Mandarin, when are we going to see the death battle between him and Sinestro? Come on.
Its energy. Something only possible by a theoretical Type 2 civilization on the Kardashev scale.
It's basically when you're galaxy-brained enough to draw power from the entire solar system.
I know it's comics, but the fact that Tony just has one of these lying around is insane. Known as Soul's Hammer, Tony's incomplete sphere is strong enough to destroy a planet at only a 2% charge.
Didn't you work on one of those? I remember you talking about how it'd solve your student loan problems once and for all.
On behalf of the families of several planets that no longer exist, I'm not legally at liberty to discuss that.
Years of protecting the world from aliens, gods, and even his friends. All of that stuff wore Tony down and turned him into the one thing he promised himself he would never become. A narc.
Siding with the U.S. government's enforcement of the Superhuman Registration Act led to a literal civil war between superheroes. It wouldn't be his last.
Though it did prove he could hang with the best of them. He's beaten Captain America in hand-to-hand combat, survived blows from Thor, and even took down the Worldbreaker Hulk.
He even matched Magneto. Magneto, the guy that controls metal, the thing that surrounds Tony's entire body, by amplifying his power with Jupiter's magnetic field.
And then Max punched him with the power of the sun, and it was like no big deal. There really doesn't seem to be a limit to how insane Tony's tech gets. In the movies, this is the same guy that figured out time travel just sitting around one evening. In the time it takes me to down a beer, Tony's already shattered the laws of physics. Yeah, sure. Go to the Middle Ages and play nights with Dr. Doom, you scamp.
Perhaps his greatest invention of all, however, was the E-Scape, an entire virtual universe where the only limit is his
Yay,
imagination.
Synthwave's 80s retro
Because Tony's
shit.
nothing if not predictable, he made an armor out of it. That's right, he made an armor out of a universe.
This virtual armor is composed of solid holograms that can form any weapon Tony can think of. But even
Yeah, I
it
think
likely
that
cannot
was
compare
from
to
the
armor
recent
Tony
Iron Man
created
2020
inside
thing.
the E-Scape, the Godbuster.
But after that, he's
Literally
gone to
Iron
a
Man
more
going
traditional,
Super
purely
Saiyan.
physical
The
one, which
Godbuster was so powerful,
I
it
prefer.
destroyed
I
the
just
entire
prefer
E-Scape in a
something
single
physical,
blast,
some presence,
along
some
with
heft.
the AI controlling all of it.
I don't
An
know.
earlier iteration of the Godbuster was able to stand up to Celestials, cosmic gods that can warp reality, like Galactus, Odin, and Franklin, who can threaten the multiverse with their power.
So it lives up to the friggin' name in case you were wondering. But it isn't that kind of power that makes Tony special. After a life spent wallowing in vice and pleasure, Tony rebuilt himself into a man he could be proud of. Someone who could sacrifice everything to save the world.
I suppose underneath it all, that man of iron had a heart of gold.
You want my property, you can't have it. But I did you a big favor. I have successfully privatized world peace.
Alright, don't have a stupid ad next.
Run the data through all possibilities.
But first, if you want the same level of confidence as these two billionaires, check out Blue Chew.
Alright. Oh, the Watchtower? What the hell is he listening to? I can't even.
Hey, bats! Now, I can respect a man with a healthy sense of paranoia and billions to spare, but Steve and Nat are really up my ass about this. Take the watchtower offline now.
Bruce, you don't want this fight, Tony. It'll be the biggest mistake of your life. Clark, do you read me? The watchtower is being attacked.
Seriously, bats? I figured out hacking in the 2nd grade. How do you think I got in here? Aside from...
Alright. Yep, gotta enforce the one-on-one rule.
Really, Bruce? This sticks? I thought we were grown-ups here.
I do not like Tony's voice here. It sounded better in his first death battle.
Friday, I need Soul's hammer online pronto. Match my coordinates. I'll try to... Oh.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, you wanted it offline.
What did you expect? I am Batman.
And I am Iron Man. I've got a suit for everything, bats, including busting wannabe gods like you.
This is gonna get ugly. Hell, it already is. Loving the music, though.
Bust this.
Had to divert some power to hacking that suit. Like I said, 2nd grade. Friday, fire the hammer!
Uh-oh. It's over already.
Holy shit! No more armors, Tony. Just you and me. Man to man.
Nice.
Well, man to genius billionaire playboy.
No, Tony's always got some other tech up his sleeve.
Maybe just one more.
Knew it.
Model 58, the nano armor. Snuck it into your body back on the watchtower. Friday, initiate self-destruct.
Kind of figured that's how it would end, but damn.
Friday, I could really use a drink.
Ed.
KO! Oh, come on! You know if they fought naked, Batman would have beat the shit out of him.
While
Yes, he
Batman
would.
is a character defined by his tenacity, preparedness, and utter genius, so is Tony Stark. So neither could rely on that skill set alone to pull them through.
And it shouldn't come as a surprise. Batman's standard batsuit couldn't quite hold up to the firepower of even the most basic Iron Man armors. The batsuit is surprisingly tough, sure, but it isn't taking hits from a dude that can punch apart Manhattan. And despite Bats having a ton of nifty gadgets, Iron Man's armors were way more varied and powerful. With so many unique and often alien abilities, there was no way Bats could predict all of them.
With time, he could certainly figure out a plan of attack, but since Tony is just as much a genius schemer as Batman, he could do the same.
There are lots of cases where he would have won, especially with his ace of the hole, the Hellbat.
The Hellbat's raw power and speed absolutely dwarfed the majority of Iron Man's arsenal, and could have killed him immediately were it not for Tony's own trump cards.
Like the Godbuster, which was definitely strong enough to contend with it. The Hellbat could take on Darkseid, but a weaker version of the Godbuster could hold its own against Celestials.
Darkseid was a being capable of threatening the multiverse with his power and moving many times faster than light, but the Celestials were capable of the same.
With an armor that strong, Tony could buy himself enough time to break out all his other tricks, like sneaking nano armors into Batman's body, phasing through him with ghost tech, draining the Hellbat's power, or just hacking his suit and shutting it off.
And with an army of armors at his beck and call, Tony could certainly hold Batman off long enough to employ those strategies. Hell, since he can control them remotely, he technically didn't even need to be there and put himself in harm's way.
And remember, the Hellbat used Batman's own life force as a battery.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be a
quick, or else his own armor would kill
liability.
him first. With Tony throwing an army at him, he didn't have a good way of doing that. Tony just had way too much shit to throw at Batman, while Batman didn't have the time or options he needed to keep up.
Batman may have been a god among men, but Iron Man's wealth of gadgets, insanely powerful tech, and greater mechanical experience allowed him to crush the Caped Crusader.
You might think it's an injustice that Batman's gonna need avenging, but Iron Man was in a whole nother league.
The winner is Iron Man.
I figured. Oh well. Another one from
Hey everybody, I
Marvel.
hope you enjoyed that episode. If you're looking for something else to watch, we just released a brand new show called Last Laugh on Rooster Teeth. It's all about people trying to make each other laugh and everybody trying not to. Check it out by clicking the box below me. Thanks.
What do we got next? Reverse Flash? And... okay. Not much of a Dragon Ball person, but okay.